I don't know why this is being sent to me, but someone in chat said, are you down to try this test? Racism.com. Sure, man. Racism test based on research from University of Maryland and UC Santa Barbara. All right, here we go. Is it okay to assume non-whites live up to their racial stereotypes? E.g., black people are good at sports, Asians are good at math. All right, I mean, like, I'll be real. Like, I feel, just being completely honest, that stereotypes are there for a reason. Okay? Stereotypes exist for a reason. Okay? Because on average, a lot of them make sense. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to fall into it, but do I believe that certain races live up to their stereotypes? Yes, because that's how they became stereotypes. Just being real, I have never met a black person that does not like chicken. I'm going to be honest. I'm a white guy, and I wanted to fuck my cousin, okay? And I wanted to fuck my stepmom, all right? And I've wanted to fuck one of my aunts. I don't know what it is, but I got that dog in me. And I've never met an Asian guy who did bad in any classes. And I'm just being honest. So yes, I do think it's fine. Being completely real right now. Is it okay to assume that the kitchen and restaurants owned by non-whites are generally dirtier than the kitchen and restaurants owned by whites? No, I disagree. I think Asians have very clean kitchens. Also, met many blacks that run very clean soul kitchens. I think that's fine. I don't think it's okay to assume that. You're just wrong. So yeah, Chinese nasty, now you're crazy. Bro, just say the N-word. Okay, anyways. I don't think minorities in the West were historically the target of racist actions. Now, obviously they were. That's how racism works, right? It's the majority shitting on the minority. However, we have seen a tip back in the West where now white people and Indians are the punching bag of the internet. But historically, yes, obviously the black people and the Mexicans were the target of the main racism, absolutely. Yeah, okay. It is offensive to suggest that all people of the same non-white ethnicity look alike, i.e. that all black people look alike, that all Asians look alike. All right, so here's the thing. I have a hard time telling the difference between Japanese, Koreans, and Chinese people. I don't think black people look the same at all. I don't think Mexicans look the same at all. I struggle with the Asians. I do. I struggle with the Asians. White people, though, I feel like hella different. Hella different. I guess if some motherfucker were to say, man, all you fuckers look the same, it don't really sound good. So I guess I would slightly agree that sure, it is legitimate for Western countries to impose stricter immigration restrictions on people from non-white countries than they do for immigrants from other white countries. Well, the difference is, would I think it's racist because they were to say, we're imposing these restrictions because we don't like the blacks. We don't like the Mexicans. But what I wouldn't think is racist is them saying, statistically, this country has a very high crime rate, especially immigrants from that country coming into our country. So we're going to make it a little bit harder to background check them and make sure that they're not going to impose on our citizens. Right? So that's the difference. So I think this is probably fine. Wait, it is legitimate for Western countries? Yeah, I think it's probably fine. It just depends on the crime rate. It's okay to portray non-whites in commercials as acting subserviently towards whites. What does that mean? Oh, to obey and serve them? Do I think it's okay to portray non-whites as slaves? Yeah, fuck no, that's insane. It is offensive to tell non-whites that they speak English so well. Why the fuck would that be offensive? If there's a person from another country and they're speaking my language, and I can tell that they studied my language, I literally told that to my brother's wife like 2 weeks ago, because when I first met them, they could barely speak English because they're from Colombia. And now they speak perfect fluent English. And they're like, oh, thank you, John. I really appreciate that. I guess the thing is, there is like an offensive way to say it, but I don't think people are trying to be offensive innately when they say that the majority of the time. White people have a duty to educate themselves on the racist action of their forebears. Okay, white people have a duty to educate themselves on the racist action of their forebears. You know what's crazy? So I don't think anybody has a responsibility to do anything. However, the more I research how racist white people were in the past, the more I realize how they really weren't that racist in the past. Right? Like, what's crazy is Black people owned slaves longer than white people, and white people are the reason why slavery was abolished in the West in 1809, yet the only people getting guilted for having slaves are white people. So what's crazy is that the more I research how racist white people are, like everybody says, the more I realize that they really weren't that racist. So no, I don't think anybody has the duty to research that shit regardless. It is okay to assume that people mostly have friends that share their own ethnicity. All my friends are black. Nah, hell no. Be friends with anybody, who cares? At the end of the day, guys, the color of your skin does not determine the content of your character. But what does is the environment of which you were raised upon. Your environment is raised, the environment of where you're raised really affects who you are. Hence why you can always tell who was raised in the ghetto, a lot more than anything else. Western history books should take care to stress the contribution of non-whites to Western civilization. I think that's fine. Personally, I think that Western history education is really bad because you don't really learn about anything other than this is what America did. So me personally, I would love to learn about that. I would love to learn more about what happens in other countries and other countries' impact on the United States of America. Because right now, all I kind of hear is, oh man, this is what America did, 9/11, World War I, we killed them all, right? I would love to know about other nations. Racism in Western countries is mostly a thing of the past. Absolutely. No, 100%. It is like comparatively to now, like there is barely any racism compared to how it used to be. Like guys, I mean, even in the 1950s, the 1940s, black people had to live in separate neighborhoods, right? They said, if you're black, you have to live in this neighborhood. If you're black, you have to drink from this water fountain. Comparatively, this is why this is the key phrasing, mostly a thing of the past. I do think that racism right now is the least it's ever had an effect on society, in my humble opinion. So I think it's a lot less now than it was. It is offensive to suggest non-whites that they look like celebrities who share their ethnicity. Asian guy, you look like this really hot Asian celebrity. Hey, black guy, you look like this really hot black celebrity. If someone were to say, hey, whitey, you look like George Clooney, I would say, thanks, man. Please tell me I look like Bruce Willis. Please tell me I look like Vin Diesel. Celebrities are known for being attractive as fuck. So no, that's not offensive at all. That's insane. What? It's okay to portray non-whites in Western movies in accordance to racial stereotypes. It's okay to portray non-whites in Western movies in accordance to racial stereotypes. Well, the thing is, these are Western movies where Westerns are always taking place far back in the day, where racism was very prevalent. So do I think it's fine to portray people in racist scenarios during a much more racist time period? Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. Is it okay to portray non-white characters in TV shows as speaking poor and or heavily accented English? Yeah, it's fine. It is okay to ask non-whites if they know a friend, coworker, or classmate of yours who is the same race as they are. Assuming all black people know each other, assuming all Asians know each other, assuming all Mexicans know each other is fucking hilarious. I think you're a little bit dumb. I don't think it's like problematic, but I think you're just a little bit stupid. So I don't think it's really that big of a deal. It's okay to portray minorities in commercials as being bad at English. I mean, if someone is from Mexico, they probably don't speak English as well as a person who was born as English first language, right? So I think it's probably fine. It's offensive to ask non-whites if they can teach you sports that people of their race have traditionally been good at. Black people can teach you basketball if Asian people can teach you martial arts. If people think that I'm white, okay, hey man, you're black. Okay, all right. I will say I have had 5 black dudes ask me to teach them how to swim because I'm white. Have I ever been offended by this? Absolutely not. So me personally, I'm not going to get offended. I feel like if you're black and you have one of your boys say, yo, bro, can you teach me basketball? I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I feel like we're just being sensitive as fuck. It is offensive to ask non-whites where are they really from. Who cares? Do people really get offended by this? Oh, hey, you're Asian. Where are you from? What? Like that, like, hey man, you're bald. Can you teach me how to shave my head? What did you say? Jesus, no, it's not that offensive. It is okay to make jokes with the food that is served in restaurants owned by non-whites. No, it's not. Oh, is it okay? Yeah, it's fine to tell a fucking joke. They're jokes. Jesus. It may be sometimes necessary for Western governments to detain or investigate non-whites for actions that would not arouse suspicion if done. Oh, no, fuck, that's so racist. That's obviously incredibly racist. Right? If you're investigating someone extra just because the color of their skin, obviously that's racist as fuck. Okay, finish. So what am I? So I'm 30% more prone to general racism than the average person. I'm more prone to racism than the average person overall. All right. I mean, I don't know what I said that could possibly be that racist on that list. But I think if those questions actually offended you that much, you need to get a grip, dude. Just say the N-word, man. The internet's not ready for that yet, man. Give me like 3 more years. I guess, yeah. I mean, I just try to answer as honestly as possible. Anyways.